Good morning, guys. Miss Abate here. So for today's lesson, we are going to be focused on visualizing. We already learned about visualizing, okay, in today, so we're going to be applying that. We're going to be reading another story today, and you guys are going to be creating pictures in your head as to what's going on to better understand the story, okay? So if you remember from our first lesson about visualizing, we have to be reading the text and looking at what the words say in order to better understand what's happening, and that way we can create a picture in our head. Now, we're lucky that here in second grade that most of our readings that we do have pictures in them. So that really helps us look at the characters' faces, look at their actions, to see how they're feeling, to see what they're doing, to really connect the pictures with the words and the text in the story. But today, I'm going to read a story, but I've covered up a lot of the pictures in it. So that way you're really going to have to be focusing on the text and on the words to understand a little bit more about the characters and maybe their struggles or really what's going on. Now, keep in mind that the point of visualizing is so that way we can better understand or better comprehend the stories that we're reading. Because not every book that we are going to read is going to have pictures. So you're going to have to, make little, make up characters in your head, make up what they look like by what is being read to you. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put it into practice. So I hope you have a piece of paper and a pencil in front of you, because I am going to ask you at some point to also draw what you read and what you think is going on based on the words in the text, because that is a really great strategy when it comes to visualizing, and how that way you can better understand the story is as you're listening, just start drawing what's going on. I know a lot of us love to draw, we love to doodle, and normally in class, you sometimes could get in trouble or be asked to put your notebook away if you are doodling and drawing. But today, you get to draw while you listen to a story, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and present my screen. And the story that we're going to read today is called Help, a Story of Friendship. There we go. Sorry, it took me a second to find the button. All right, so as you can see, I did leave some pictures, some illustrations, okay, some drawings, whatever you want to call it, because I do want you, to be able to start with a picture in your head, maybe about what the animals look like. But that doesn't mean that whenever I ask you to start drawing what you're hearing and what you think is going on, that doesn't mean it has to look like them, right? You can, draw it however you want, all right? So again, our skill that we're going to be focused on today is visualizing. So I'm going to be stopping the text at some point and going to be asking you questions about what is happening, what are the characters feeling, what are the characters doing, and you're going to be able, you're going to have to tell me that, or be able to write it down, be able to draw it based on the words in the text. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Help, a Story of Friendship by Holly Keller. Now again, just like in our read aloud we're focused on the same essential question: how do friends depend on each other? But for today's purpose in this story, we're not going to be focused on this essential question. Like I said, we're really just going to be focused on comprehending the story based on putting pictures in our head, okay? Here we go. One morning, Hedgehog found Mouse covering himself with leaves. "What in the world are you doing?" asked Hedgehog. "I'm hiding," said Mouse. "From Snake." "From our friend Snake?" asked Hedgehog. "Yes," Mouse whispered. "Fox told Skunk, and Skunk told me that snakes are very dangerous to mice." That's silly gossip, said Hedgehog. You know Snake would never hurt you. Come on, we can walk together and you will be perfectly safe. Mouse hesitated. I insist, said Hedgehog. So Mouse went along. Hedgehog talked about little things, but Mouse wasn't paying attention. He was still worrying about Snake. He looked around nervously. He looked everywhere but at his feet. Here's where we're going to pause. What do you think happened to Mouse? So I'm going to reread this paragraph again. And I want you to maybe draw a picture of what you think happened to Mouse right here, okay? Hedgehog talked about little things, but Mouse wasn't paying attention. He was still worrying about Snake. He looked around nervously. He looked everywhere but at his feet. So think about that happening to you. If you are looking around everywhere but at your feet, what normally happens to you? So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and pause the video, and you can either draw a picture about what you think just happened. You can even, I'm not very good at drawing, so I like to write, and I know a lot of you guys are the opposite. A lot of you guys like to draw instead of write. So I'm going to write down what I think happened. And if you write those words down too, you can, or you can draw a picture. But right now, go ahead and pause this video. All right. So what do you think happened to Mouse? It said he looked everywhere but at his feet. I'm thinking that happens to me. I'm looking around. What normally happens is I trip. So that's what I think happened to Mouse, that he tripped and he fell over. Okay, let's turn. Here's what we're going to do. Whoop. Ready? Yep. The illustration showed us that he fell. So he tripped, he fell. Okay, I hope you had the same answer. Oh, help! Hedgehog peered down. You should be afraid of yourself, Mouse, not of Snake. It's not funny, Mouse yelled. I've hurt my foot and I can't get out. Are you sure? Hedgehog shouted. Yes, Mouse yelled. Stay calm, said Hedgehog. I'll get help. Okay, so here's where I'm going to ask you to visualize again. Where is Mouse at right now? Hedgehog peered down. Okay, Hedgehog peered down at Mouse. So here's again where I want you to pause the video and I want you to either write down where you think Mouse is or draw a picture of where Mouse is. Go ahead and pause this video. All right, welcome back. So reading the text, Hedgehog peered down. Mouse says, I've hurt my foot and I can't get out. So visualizing in my head what I think happened is let's share our answers out at the same time, okay? 1, 2, 3. In a hole. So let's see what the illustrations showed about where Mouse is. Yes, Mouse is down in this hole and you can see Hedgehog peering down at him. Good job. All right, let's keep reading. Just then, Squirrel walked by. Mouse has gotten into his head to be afraid of Snake, said Hedgehog. He was so nervous that he didn't watch where he was going. He fell into a hole and hurt his foot, and now he can't get out. Can you help? But Squirrel couldn't help. It will be too dark, she said, and there might be spiders. So it sounds like to me that squirrel's afraid of spiders. Rabbit came along, and Hedgehog told him about Mouse and Snake. You know how to go down holes, said Hedgehog. Rabbit looked into the hole. Hello, Mouse, he yelled. It's too deep, Rabbit said to Hedgehog, and the walls are too straight. I wouldn't be able to hop out. Why don't you go, Hedgehog? Asked Squirrel. Because Mouse would have to get on my back and my prickles would hurt him, Hedgehog said. Mouse started to cry. So here's something that we're going to do visualizing too. We're going to visualize like we're looking down into the hole, okay? So that way we can kind of see what it feels like to be maybe Mouse and to be the other animals. So we're going to put our hands into a circle like this, right? So we're first going to be Hedgehog, Rabbit, Squirrel, okay? We're going to be looking down into the hole. So I want you to maybe scoot back, okay? And put your hands in front of you like this, and you're going to look down into your hands. You see how it's really narrow, right? So that's us looking, we're peering down at Mouse. Oh, it looks really scary. Now we're going to be Mouse looking up. And I want you to think about, I want you to visualize after you do this, after you picture what Mouse is, or what it's like for Mouse to look out of that hole, I want you to visualize what Mouse is feeling right now. Okay, so let's first, okay, we're gonna make that circle again, but now we're gonna look up, right? And it looks like it's just really narrow and skinny, and it looks like the ceiling is just so far up. You think about trying to reach up there, okay? So again, I'm gonna have you pause the video, and you're gonna write down how you think Mouse is feeling right now. Visualize what Mouse is feeling based on these words. Go ahead, pause the video. All right, what did you say how Mouse is feeling? I put, he's scared. I'm picturing in my head, based on these words, I'm picturing, visualizing being in that hole, looking up, nobody's able to come and get me. I'm visualizing that I would feel scared, and I bet Mouse is too. Keep reading. Whooshy, whooshy, whooshy. Hedgehog heard the grass move. It was Snake. What's going on? Said Snake. Shh, Hedgehog whispered. Mouse fell into a deep, dark hole. He hurt his foot and he can't get out. Is it a secret? Snake whispered back. Not exactly, whispered Hedgehog. It's just that we don't know how to get him out. Squirrel is afraid to go down by herself. Rabbit wouldn't be able to hop out, and I'm too prickly. Then I'll go down, Snake said. No problem. Oh no, said Hedgehog. That's not a good idea at all. Not at all, said Squirrel. Not at all, said Rabbit. You see, Snake, Hedgehog said, Fox told Skunk and Skunk told Mouse that snakes are dangerous to mice. Mouse was trying to hide from you when he fell in the hole. Oh boy. But I've always been Mouse's friend, said Snake. Of course you have, said Hedgehog. So I'm going to rescue Mouse anyway, said Snake. How will you do it without scaring Mouse? Asked Hedgehog. Good question. Someone get a stick, said Snake. Squirrel did it. Now tie my tail around it, said Snake. Rabbit did it. Now make sure the knot is tight. Hedgehog did it. Now watch. So you see that I covered up all these pictures right here, right? Okay, so I'm going to reread this. And then here's where I want you to draw what is going on. Okay, I want you to draw what is happening by these texts, by these words, okay? So after I reread it, I want you to pause the video, and then I want you to take as much time as you need to draw what you have going on in your head based on these words on the screen, okay? Someone get a stick, said Snake. Squirrel did it. Now tie my tail around it, said Snake. Rabbit did it. Now make sure the oh my gosh, let me start over. Now make sure the knot is tight. Hedgehog did it. Now watch. Go ahead and pause. I want you to draw a picture about what's happening. Go ahead. All right. So if you wanted to draw 4 pictures like these boxes, that's great. I only drew 1 picture. I drew kind of, you know, the whole thing where it said that Snake tied a stick around his tail. So here are the pictures, okay? Here's Squirrel getting a stick. Here's Rabbit tying the stick around Snake's tail. Hedgehog pulling it tight. And what is Snake doing with that stick, do you think? Ooh, looks like Snake is using his long tail and that long stick to reach down in that hole. Okay. So we're going to see what happens next. Snake's idea. When Mouse saw the stick, he grabbed it. Snake began to climb the tree, and slowly Mouse came up. Mouse saw Snake and gasped. Then he saw the stick still tied to Snake's tail. Snake saved you, said Hedgehog. He did, said Squirrel. He rescued you, said Rabbit. Because I would never hurt you, Snake said. Mouse turned a deep shade of pink. I'm very sorry, he said. I want you to write down how you think Mouse is feeling now. Think about what happened, right? Mouse has been afraid of Snake, fell down a hole, and now Snake is the one that just saved him. So how do you think Mouse is feeling now? Let's see if you're right. It said Mouse turned a deep shade of pink. So that's a way of saying embarrassed. When you get embarrassed, your cheeks may turn red, they may turn pink. Sometimes, you know, if your teachers call you up to the front of the class and you're a little bit shy, you'll start getting blushed. So Mouse is embarrassed. He feels silly, right? He feels silly for being afraid of Snake this whole time. Snake, Squirrel, Hedgehog, and Rabbit helped Mouse hobble home. They bandaged Mouse's foot and he lay down to rest. Several mornings later, Hedgehog was taking his walk, and along came Mouse. He was holding a bouquet of flowers. Where are you going? Asked Hedgehog. I'm going to say thank you to Snake, said Mouse, and to give him some flowers that I picked. And Snake was very pleased to have them. The end. All right, so we're going to do one last question with visualizing for you guys to end this, to wrap this up today. All right, so your question is, you're going to use the visualizing strategy, okay? What happens after Mouse gets out of the hole? What does that tell you about the animals? Okay, so you're going to go back into what we read, okay? What happens after Mouse gets out of the hole? What does that tell you about the animals? You're going to use a visualizing strategy to help you out with this one, meaning think about what you read and what happened when Mouse got out of the hole and what that meant for all of them as animals together, okay? So you're going to pause this video and you're going to answer that question on your own piece of paper and you'll bring it back next time we meet. All right, guys, have a good day.